Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. In this video, I wanted to talk a little bit more about metaphorical walls, the obstacles that you set and perceive in front of you, and kind of how to deal with them and how to get around them, over them, and whatever you're going to do, break through your obstacles, whatever it is. And I've talked a little bit about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again because I find it interesting, and I do think that there is something within this that we can use to kind of overcome those obstacles or to get past them or whatever it is that you're going to do with that damn wall and that obstacle. So I have been playing with this idea of kind of imagining that I have this holographic room or like the simulation room, and sounds really weird, right? And I go into it with some sort of construction of whatever the terrain is that I'm trying to get past, or I've done containers and different burdens and things like that, but this one, wall obstacle. So I load up this simulation and then I envision it. Okay, my eyes are closed, I'm envisioning it. For me this time, the wall was kind of strange, and I'm going to go through this and talk about how it's going to relate to you as well. In my mind, there's the normal floor, and then in front of me, there's this massive wall. It's a complete wall. It goes up to the top of the ceiling. It's fully like across, right? There's no way around it except for this little window kind of in the middle. That's enough to kind of slide through easily, okay? It's like maybe that wide, I guess, that deep, and then that wide, rather. And so I imagined as my dominant function only, how do I approach that wall? And I like to imagine introverted feeling. I'm an INFP, so introverted feeling is my leading dominant function, my hero, as this kind of priest-like character, this healer. And so I have a staff. And my envisioning of how I approached the problem alone as introverted feeling is to, one, look at it and be like, oh crap, how am I going to do this? And then I propped my staff up against the wall, and I tried to like climb up it and eventually get in through the hole. And in doing that, sorry, I have my notes over there. In doing that, I got up there. I got into that window, and I looked down, and there were, other mobs, monsters, and things out there that I had to fight to get through and out the door on the other side. But I had left my staff. So I had no way of attacking the rest of the situation and actually completing it and getting to the end goal because I had left my weapon there. So that was kind of weird. It was a little weird to think about because introverted feeling as my dominant function, and you, whatever your dominant function is, it's something that you really rely on, and you try to do almost everything you can with just using that. That's how you want to accomplish most of your goals, because that's the most natural for you. That's the most preferred function. And so by constantly trying to deal with the situation with only introverted feeling, I leave myself open and exposed and unable to actually finish my journey, which was really weird, right? So thinking about that, I was like, okay, well, next step, let's reset the simulation, and I will go through it as my auxiliary function, extroverted intuition. I imagine this as this kind of gunslinger, he's this creative, exploring type who, always brainstorms new ideas and things like that. And So he's got this shotgun in my mind. That's how I've created the character. And what I did was, I walked up to the wall and I was like, okay, well, how can I approach this and how can I get through the wall? Now I know kind of what's on the other side as well. So I was watching NE, watching this gunslinger in my mind, try to do this, and he runs over to the wall and kicks off of it, tries to grab onto it. But he's kind of short and stubby in my mind. He's a dwarf in my mind. And so I couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Just constantly running, jumping, and missing the window, the ledge. And so then I was like, okay, I need to think about this a little bit more creatively, perhaps. So it's weird talking in the third person, whatever person that is. He used the shotgun and he started blowing holes or little chunks into the wall underneath the window. And so having done that, he was able to kind of, find some finger holes and climb his way up there and get through. And he could defeat the monsters on the other side. He didn't leave his weapon. He had a weapon, and he could shoot from afar. Or he could, run down there and go nutty. So that was also another interesting thing. And then, the next step I did, I had both of them go together. How would FI, introverted feeling, this kind of resonating conscience, this priest-like character, looking for this moral compass or whatever, how would he, plus this gunslinger, this brainstorming kind of creative explorer guy, deal with the situation? Well, I was watching them, and let me check my notes right quick. So the first attempt was NE, extroverted intuition, the gunslinger, lifting up introverted feeling, which felt right. Lifting up introverted feeling and getting him up there, up to the window, and so then introverted feeling could pull NE up into it, and then they could get out. But the thing was, introverted feeling pulling extroverted intuition, the priest pulling the gunslinger, didn't really work out. He was too heavy. He couldn't do it. And introverted feeling was too, I hate saying it, but too weak. He couldn't do it. And that was also a weird feeling, because I was like, well, introverted feeling should be the one that's able to lift and able to do all that hard work. But I kind of reset it a little bit, had FI jump down there, and introverted feeling, using the staff, the priest using the staff, kind of boosted up the gunslinger, extroverted intuition, and it was easy. Boom. They got him up there, and then NE, gunslinger, reached down, pulled up the healer, introverted feeling. And they just, destroyed all the baddies, all the monsters down there, and walked throughout the door. And, when I envisioned them walking through the door, I felt this, sense of relief. This whole time, I'm kind of, smiling to myself while I'm doing this exercise. And I just thought it was a lot of creative fun. I know it's not for everybody, but I think a lot of the geeks and the people that are in this channel might get a kick out of doing this and dissecting how your functions are working together. If you don't really know the cognitive functions, I suggest using the kind of archetypal classes that I made on the website and throughout the channel, just so you can get your idea. But if you have your own idea of what the function looks like and feels like and kind of the class is, use that, right? Don't fight that. Bring that with you. And going back to how I completed through that puzzle, I realized that introverted feeling, my dominant function, actually, it's introverted, so it's kind of in the back line as it is, kind of in a defensive state. needs to be there to push extroverted intuition, that gunslinger, out there and get him to creatively explore the situation and deal with all these different issues. And I can, as introverted feeling, support that and kind of keep it going along, because that's going to do a lot of the grunt work, or just most of the the things that I need to do, right? He's going to be the one, extroverted intuition is going to be the one that actually carries me through difficult situations and growth and all these other things. And I'm not going to talk about the other, maybe I should. Okay. And I'm going to talk about the other two functions, kind of trying to go through this a little bit quicker. Introverted sensing, in my mind, is this guardian style. He's got this sword and board type tank. And this is the tertiary function for me, introverted sensing. So it's not the best. You know, it's kind of a relief function, a supportive relief character. And I had him go at it alone, and he kind of did the same thing. He just mimicked introverted feeling, put the shield down and tried to climb up it, and kept slipping and never actually made it through the window. Actually, I remember him trying to slam into the wall to create the notches like extroverted intuition did, and it just didn't quite work out. So I kind of felt some sadness in me. I was like, oh damn, introverted sensing couldn't even deal with the problem, which is actually, it makes sense. Your tertiary function should not be the one that you're really listening to if you have an obstacle that you're dealing with. And with introverted feeling together, they were able to boost each other up and get through it. And the guardian, introverted sensing, jumped down there, and he's this methodical guardian, right? And he's just kind of sitting there slowly chipping away at the monsters and the mobs, as introverted feeling, the priest, is up there in the window like, I'm healing you. We're going to get through this eventually. It was kind of pathetic. Yeah. And then extroverted thinking, the inferior function, this geomancer style, this effective or efficient commander style. I had him go at it alone, and in my mind, like I said, it's a geomancer. So he just made a staircase out of the ground, and just ran up there, and then made 2 walls on the other sides. After he got through the window, 2 walls just smashed or blocked off all the baddies and ran out through the door. It was it took 3 seconds. I was like, oh my God, this is really telling me that I need extroverted thinking. I need right action in my life. And that was also, unfortunately, kind of painful to watch, because I was like, wow, that was so easy. You should just do that every time, Sherman. Come on. Just make things easy and efficient and just run right through it. Stop overthinking. And with introverted feeling, it was the same thing. It was introverted feeling, the priest was following behind the geomancer, extroverted thinking, just run up there, run down, and they walk through. I was like, that's stupid. It's so easy. And then, just for shits and giggles, I had them all go through it together. Extroverted thinking took the lead. And I actually he didn't, I guess it was in his own volition, he didn't wall off the bad guys. They all just jumped down there, and everybody was protecting introverted feeling in the middle. And it was a beautiful sight to watch. It was like Avengers. It's pretty cool. So that was kind of a long story, but I hope that it was entertaining, and it kind of gave you some insights into how the different functions are working within your stack, whatever your functions may be, and some of the kind of cool exploratory techniques and things you can do. I am planning on doing this with more scenarios, and if you all are digging this too, then to bring in your ideas, and look more at how you approached these situations. I don't think that they're going to be the same for everybody. Not everybody's going to envision this wall with a window. I hope not. I hope that my idea didn't sway how you envision it. And what was I going to say? I don't know. Basically, use your dominant function correctly in the sense that you need to also support it with your auxiliary function. And I've been feeling lately, through making these videos and through, the path that I'm on right now, that having my auxiliary function be out there in the front doing the things, this might be different for an extrovert, but doing all these things while my dominant function is confident in its style and its ability and is supporting that on and keeping that going, keeping extroverted intuition going, I think that is one important and strong way for personal growth. And then you bring in all these other functions and it's beautiful. Okay? So that is the end of this kind of strange video. I like it anyway. Okay. So if you found this interesting, please comment below, share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out Patreon if you are interested in that as well. We got a lot of different techniques, neuro-linguistic programming techniques and stuff going out there in the Hero Maker framework. Kind of things like this, not quite as like game related, but still very powerful personal growth techniques. Okay, so please let me know down below. I want you to do this exercise and just imagine you're in this scenario and go through it as your different cognitive functions and analyze how they approach the situation and if that is the right way to approach the situation. Okay? So keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace.